Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem, and in today's top stories. Hostilities along Israel's northern front with Lebanon seemingly intensify. IDF forces continue to target terror elements throughout the West Bank districts of Judea, Samaria, and the Jordan Valley in particular, as the number of suspected terror operatives apprehended since October 7th rises to 4,150. The UN Security Council adopts Resolution 2735, which calls upon Hamas to accept President Joe Biden's outline for a hostage release deal. Israel continues to fight terror on all fronts. On the northern front, the Iranian proxy Hezbollah launched dozens of rockets, missiles, and UAVs towards Israeli civilian and military targets throughout the day, including approximately 50 projectiles toward the Golan Heights alone, and even as far as the city of Haifa. Thankfully, all of the projectiles that aimed to target populated areas were intercepted, while the remainder exploded in uninhabited lands. Meanwhile, it was cleared for publication that U.S. Central Command Commander General Michael Kurilla visited Israel at the invitation of IDF Chief of General Staff Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi over the weekend, during the course of which the commanders held an operational situational assessment, discussed recent regional challenges, and the strengthening of the strategic partnership in the region against the Iranian threat and Iran's proxies in the region. Per a joint statement, Generals Kurilla and Halevi also discussed Israel's northern threat as well as the situation in the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, in the West Bank district of the Jordan Valley, the regional brigade launched an intelligence-driven counter-terror operation, during the course of which 8 suspected terror operatives were successfully apprehended, among others.
במהלך 18 השעות האחרונות יצאנו למבצע חטיבתי במחנה הפליטים פרה ומחומש הכפרים. במסגרת המבצע חוסל מחבל אשר ירה לעבר הכוחות, זיהינו מעבדת נפץ עם מעל 80 מטענים אשר הושמדה על ידי הכוחות, ואף מטען גחון שהוטמן בקרקע וגם הוא הושמד.
It is important to know that over the course of the past 48 hours alone, IDF, ISA, and Border Police Special Operations Forces apprehended a total of 26 terror operatives, raising the number of suspected terror operatives that were apprehended from Judea, Samaria, and the Jordan Valley since October 7th of last year to 4,150, of whom 1,750 are directly affiliated to the Islamist Hamas. Meanwhile, in the Gaza Strip, IDF forces continue to operate against Hamas throughout the Palestinian enclave, including in the northern, central, and southern sectors. Regrettably, during heavy clashes in the southern border town of Rafah, 4 IDF soldiers of the Givati Reconnaissance Unit were killed, raising the number of IDF fatalities since the counteroffensive in the Gaza Strip began to 298. And while the Islamist Hamas is with its back against the wall, sustaining dozens of casualties every single day, the United States is doubling down on efforts to realize an end to the war. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who arrived in Israel for meetings with Jerusalem's top political leadership, initially traveled to Egypt for talks with President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, after which the Biden administration's top diplomat asserted that the only way to end the war would be for Hamas to accept President Joe Biden's outline for a hostage release deal.
My message to governments throughout the region, to people throughout the region is, if you want a ceasefire, press Hamas to say yes. If you want to alleviate the terrible suffering of Palestinians in Gaza, press Hamas to say yes. If you want to get all the hostages home, press Hamas to say yes. If you want to put Israelis and Palestinians alike on the path to more durable peace and security, press Hamas to say yes. If you want to prevent this conflict from spreading, press Hamas to say yes.
During Secretary Blinken's subsequent meetings in Israel, sources familiar with his discussions acknowledged that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reaffirmed Israel's commitment to a hostage release outline that was partially presented by U.S. President Joe Biden on May the 31st. And while the United States is working extensively to pressure all regional actors to assert their own pressure on the Islamist Hamas to accept the deal that could see all hostages in Hamas captivity released in exchange for hundreds of Palestinians that have been convicted of terror released from Israeli jails, Secretary Blinken, following a meeting with families of American hostages in Hamas captivity, stressed that first and foremost, Washington's commitment is to bring about the release of its own citizens.
I just met with the families of the American hostages in Gaza. I've had the opportunity to meet with them many times now on every trip here to the region when they visited Washington. As always, it's an incredibly powerful thing. It's hard for any of us to put ourselves in their shoes, to feel what they've been feeling these many, many long months. They were elated at the rescue of 4 hostages just a couple of days ago, but they continue to feel deeply, powerfully, this enduring separation from their loved ones. The proposal that President Biden put forward is the best way to do that. And I think, as I said just yesterday, you've had country after country make that clear in supporting the proposal. And then yesterday, the United Nations Security Council, in effect speaking for the entire international community, made it as clear as it possibly could be that this is what the world is looking for. 14 votes for, no votes against, something quite rare at the Security Council these days, and I think that speaks volumes too. So everyone's vote is in except for one vote, and that's Hamas.
During the course of the UN Security Council meeting, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Linda Thomas-Greenfield emphasized the urgency for Hamas to accept President Joe Biden's proposed deal.
We're waiting on Hamas to agree to the ceasefire deal it claims to want. But we cannot afford to wait and wait and wait. With every passing day, needless suffering continues. We can help bring about peace by adopting the resolution before us, which calls on Hamas to take the ceasefire deal and urges both parties to fully implement the deal's terms without delay and without conditions. The proposal says that if negotiations take longer than 6 weeks in phase 1, the ceasefire will continue as long as negotiations continue. And the United States, Egypt, and Qatar would work to ensure negotiations keep going in good faith until all the agreements are reached.
14 nations voted in favor of UN Security Council Resolution 2735.
The results of the voting is as follows: 14 votes in favor, 0 votes against, 1 abstention. The draft resolution has been adopted as Resolution 2735.
In contrast to the 14 nations that voted in favor, Russia decided to abstain since it remains skeptical of the practicality of the proposed outline at a time when Israel remains committed to restart the war after the deal runs its course.
К Хамас обращен призыв принять так называемую сделку. Но по-прежнему нет полной ясности относительно наличия официального согласия Израиля, как это прописано в резолюции, на предложенную президентом Байденом сделку на фоне многочисленных заявлений со стороны Израиля на тему продолжения войны до полной победы над Хамас. На что конкретно согласился Израиль? Может быть, мы услышим ответ на этот вопрос сегодня от израильского представителя. Убеждены, что Совету Безопасности не пристало подписываться под договоренностями, параметры которых туманны, и без гарантии не только их реализации на земле, но и хоть сколько-нибудь ясного понимания, как к ним относятся сами стороны. По сути, Совет дает некий карт-бланш и подписывается под планом, детали которого ему неизвестны.
Meanwhile, a senior diplomat at the Israeli delegation to the United Nations clarified Jerusalem's stance.
Israel is committed to these goals: to free all the hostages, to destroy Hamas's military and governing capabilities, and to ensure that Gaza does not pose a threat to Israel in the future. And as we have echoed numerous times in this very chamber, once these goals are met, the war will end. If Hamas were to release the hostages and turn themselves in, not one more shot needs to be fired. Yet sadly, for the past 8 months, Hamas has refused. 120 hostages are still being held by Hamas in appalling conditions. To this day, Hamas continues firing rockets at Israeli towns and cities and advancing their goal of murdering every Israeli. Members of the Council, it is Hamas that is preventing this war from ending. Hamas and Hamas alone.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. It is important for us to highlight that TV7 Israel is a donation-based non-profit ministry with all of our productions available free of charge. Therefore, we would appreciate it if you'd consider making a donation, and you can do so via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Separately, I'd like to encourage you, pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hessen, wishing you an Erev Mevorach, and God willing, we'll see you during our upcoming TV7 Israel updates. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.